Well, hey, and apparently we are live. Whether or not we are, well, that'll be a mystery that we will need to solve, but we will see. Also, I think I might be able to get the little thingy in the top left to appear now. But then that's a long shot. Nah, do you know what? I don't think that's going to work. Okie dokie. No, okay, so the overlay doesn't work when I'm doing a custom stream, which is what I'm doing right now. So there we go, fantastic. Good news all round, really. At least now I know that it won't work, whereas before I sort of was trying to get it to work and it wasn't. So, party time. These windows look horrible. Oh wait, can I just drag it over? Ah, I can see the chat like that. Well, hello, Jeffrey. Oh god, I don't want to say your last name because I'm going to say it really badly. Oh, okay, I'm not going to try. I don't want to be rude. I don't know how to say your last name, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I want to try, but I'm not going to. Anyway. Alright, here we are. I've got the same music playing again. I need to find something new at some point. But right now it's trying to... Ah, right, okay, so that's the pause button. Actually, I saw somebody do that last night where they used the pause button to pause the render, but I don't know why you'd want to use that. It's a little bit pointless in my opinion. Oh, goodness, it's gone all wibbly. What is going on over there? What is that? Oh, it's the, yeah, it's the guy I use to scale things. Right, okie dokie. So where were we yesterday? We sort of just got... Actually, do you know what? Since yesterday, I've done some stuff. You see, the bogies are a little bit longer now. I'm not sure if you class these as the bogies. They're not really, but, you know, the thing that sort of goes between the wheels. I think there could be a bit of work to be done there, but I think for now that'll do. I'm fairly happy with how that looks, just like as a basic sort of design. But yeah, there we go. So that was much shorter yesterday. In fact, I can show you the renders. 2 renders. Where are we? So before the bogies were like that short, and now you can see they're much longer. So yeah, that's the difference. It's nothing massive, but you know, as you do. So today we're going to work on the stuff. More stuff. I've got my pictures here again, as usual. You know, my lovely pile of messy images. I really should organise this better, but I don't know. Laziness, I guess. It's quite nice. In case you're wondering what the software is, it's called PureRef. It's really good, actually. It's just like sort of a panel you can drag around. You can full screen it. Control F and Control M. Oh, that's quite cool to know. Oh, that's nice. Oh, minimize, yeah, of course. So if I press... Yeah, right, perfect. Oh, that's such good software. So well designed. Anyway, what are we going to do today? First of all, I just want to check that what I did yesterday was okay. This is generally what I do anyway. I sort of just make sure the UVs are done correctly. So I don't leave them and then at some point just like go back and go, oh god, I didn't do all that stuff. Oh yeah, I remember how disgusting they looked, but it doesn't matter because they're not going to have like, you know, textures painted onto them, and even if they did, they would still look okay. Because although it looks deformed, it's because the actual button is just a weird shape. And this little... It's meant to be a sort of cylinder, but it's... Yeah, it's a little bit funny. But you see how that's not merging through the top, so that's good. Hello, Zachary Gaming TV. How are you? Message retracted. Okie dokie. Oh yeah. I don't think I'm supposed to say that. Because, I don't know. No idea. But, yeah, so we're going to have a look at what are we going to make today. So we've sort of got the general idea of this box, but this definitely needs more detail added to it. Like, it would be so obvious if you didn't have this here. So I don't know if this is going to be adjustable. I'm thinking at the moment the functionality isn't going to be there because I don't think it's worth it. It'll probably just be a randomly generated number. So well, that's how I plan to do it. So I think what we're going to do is just for now design a box. A black box with some yellow materialness in the middle. I know, right? I'm very good at speaking. Right. Do you want that? That could be pretty square. So, see, I don't want to be too heavy. So on one subdivision, that's probably okay actually. Let's add it to this group. Yeah. Okay. Right. You see what I do here? I sort of zoom out in preparation to add something. You really don't need to do that. I didn't mean to do that. That's potentially crash worthy. We won't do that again. I press a Shift Z, which turns it into rendered view, but that's really performance intensive, so my GPU probably cry. But basically what's going on here is I should be right clicking where I want it to spawn, like the cube, and then just, you know, adding it, but that's way too big. But and then Shift S, cursor to center, to put the cursor back to the middle. Just like it makes me happy knowing the cursor's in the middle. But yeah, but usually I don't do that because I'm too lazy to press all the, you know, key combinations. Where's this going? So we're going to chuck this over here. I'm going to try and get a little bit more done today rather than just blabber on, because I do actually want to get this finished. You know, one day we'll actually get this done. First, we want to get rid of the back. As you do, this can go away. Lovely jubbly. So yeah, how are we all doing today? Have we been having a good day? I don't know when the holidays are, because I don't go to school anymore, so I miss primary school. I wish I could go back to primary school. Also, if my microphone's clipping, let me know, because I don't want to be like breathing right on it. That'll be a fair distance away. I've also got the microphone volume boosted because it's a little bit too quiet by default. But yeah, hopefully you're all doing good. Whereabouts? I mean, that's too thick, isn't it? I need to be looking at this image on the right all the time, just so it doesn't, you know, go off. Yeah, that's about right. Chuck that on. Shot the window. Basically, when I look forward, there's windows behind my monitors, so it makes it really hard for me to see my monitors. So I probably should close my curtains, but I don't think it's worth it right now. If I honestly start struggling to see, because especially if you're in material view, everything sort of looks weird. Yeah, well in this case it's fine. Actually, that makes it way easier to see if I do that. But sometimes, like you see here, when you've got blue on blue, it makes it a little bit harder to see. Is that about right? Yeah, that'll do. And then we're gonna have a border. No, I was meant to press. Oh, that's not working. Okay. How much of a border? And extrude it in, scale it down. Not that way, actually. Probably just on the Z. Maybe a little bit on the X. That's about right. Obviously this doesn't look right like that. Obviously it would look better like the square, but I'm going to do some stuff to make sure it's not hideous. So it's got these little spiky things here. I'm not too sure. I think they're probably switches that you would choose, you'd like select to change the number, but I'm not too sure about doing that. I might add them as details anyway. In fact, I'll probably just set this as a texture. But if I do that, then because I imagine this number here on the back represents the same number on the front, that would make the most sense. So I want to be careful about adding textures that have, you know, well-defined numbers on them. Where are we? Yeah, I think this needs to come out a little bit more. Not because it is in real life, but because to make it look more like it's actually dipped into the object, I'm going to have to pull it out a bit. And unfortunately, when you're not adding holes into meshes, sometimes you have to make compromises. Okay, that's about right. Let's move that over there. Ooh, okay, let's not do that. That is the opposite of fun. You see how I'm sort of roughly judging this? It doesn't need to be perfect. I don't think anything in 3D design is ever perfect, unless you're designing like a car for real life purposes. But yeah, that looks good actually. I didn't intend on it doing that, but that looks pretty saucy. This one's a bit too far out. Yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. Don't want to add too much more to that because it will cause frame rates to go down, and that won't be fun. And in case you're wondering why I'm not like tweeting that I'm streaming, it's because I'm not really bothered about people watching this too much. I'm just sort of, you know, distracting myself from the inevitable doom, which is me spending the rest of my life doing this. So, that's good. Okay. That's got to be black. Ooh, let's UV unwrap it first, actually. Not that it matters when we're using materials, but it matters to me. How are we going to do that? I usually just bodge the UV a little bit. Especially for things like this, where it doesn't really matter. In fact, yeah, let's just do that. Mark seam, and now if we UV unwrap that, bring up the old UV editor, get rid of our render results. That's old news. Yeah, that's pretty much what I had in mind. Not bad. Alright, that'll do. Happy with that. Who isn't happy with that? Anybody who doesn't like stuff. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. I'm thinking. What am I thinking? That should probably go up. Sorry, not up. It should be scaled vertically a little bit. Yeah, I think that's about right. And then scale it on the X a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I say that every time and then I adjust it massively. But no, I am happy with that. Just want to check. Yeah. It's close, but it's good. So now we do want to unwrap that again. And turn on the subsurf modifier. That's good, going in the object, lovely. And now we want to change this to be yellow. Again, I'm not going to texture this because I don't want to risk ending up with permanent numbers on it. So we'll just say yellow selection dial. I don't know. I'm not good at naming things. And then we actually want to make it yellow. Just so it's only got to vaguely represent it for now. It's actually sort of like a light yellow. Yeah, I think I've hit the nail on the head there. Maybe not. I don't know. Oh, it was better before. Oh, no, that's fine. There you go. Ah, see, that looks funny. What are we going to do about that? That's not what we're going to do about that. What we are going to do about that is add a crease there. Add a crease here. And probably here. Oh, I can't see it. That one. That one. That one. There you go. know why it's doing that. I now know why it's doing that. Because that should be creased as well. You just check this is doing stuff when we do it. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Looking good. We will, again, have to UV unwrap it. I really shouldn't rush into UV unwrapping things because I always make massive changes. So you can see that's what we're trying to represent. Again, I still didn't change this to black. I don't know how I managed to do that. Do we not have a black material? Oh, we don't. Okay. Have we got one on here? Black chair bottom. Ceiling fan. I'm thinking of an appropriate, like, colour that makes sense. Because I could just make a new one, but I don't want to have to import like a million textures. Door black? Maybe? So if we say assign that. Actually, it would have been easier if I just deselected these ones. Yeah, that'll do. But which door? That's a good question. I don't know. Probably... No, I think that's the silver I've used there. Yeah, door metal frame silver. Doesn't really matter. Because when I import into the Unreal Engine, it will end up being a different material anyway. Again, we want to add more detail here. So, where are we? Oh god, my VR thingy's like sticking onto my desk and it's getting in the way of my mouse. I've moved it now though, so it's all good. Let's close this window off. Where are we? I'm wondering whether to do the emergency brake handle or... we'll get to it eventually. We'll just focus on... Oh, come on. Yeah, focus on this for now. So we want to do these little things. They're just going to be additions and this main metal sort of unit here. Ah, hello, Shay Mac. I don't know why, I expect there to be more after Mac for some reason. I'm ruining everybody's names today. I'm sorry. But hello, welcome back. You've come back for this torture, have you? I'm crazy to it's actually crazy to me that people are watching this. Especially when I don't know what I'm doing. I keep doing things wrong. Like... To me, this is not far from torture. So, because as much as this looks, I don't know, does it look easy? It probably does look easy, and it is kind of easy, and that's probably what's making it a little bit more repetitive. It's just it's so mundane at this point because it's just the same thing over and over again. Because that's what you do in modelling. Everything is basically just a different version of the same thing. You're just manipulating shapes. And, I mean, if you don't like that, well, you're going to struggle. Because I didn't used to like that, and I still kind of find it quite dull, but you have to push through these things because we want things. We want trains. Well, I do. And I think most people do. Well, people who are crazy enough to like trains. Which is not most people, but people like you and I. Watching a stream on the TV. Oh, God. I hope it's just you watching that TV. Not like, you're not putting other people through this torture, are you? I would feel bad for them. I'd have to personally apologise. Right, again, this is what we're trying to make. I'm doing a horrible job of like doing it quickly. But every so often you have to sort of zoom out and get an idea of how big you're making stuff. Is it wide enough? Probably wide enough. Is it long enough? No. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the one thing about modelling, is you have to remember that nothing's perfect, and if you keep trying, you won't get anywhere. So, actually, I'm just going to make sure I extend these bottom... oh, I just want the edges, please. And then scale that on the old y-axis. I held a weird stream and came to your house and bit your eyes. I pulled on them and found out it was rubber. The end. What? Okay. You need to stop having dreams, man. At least about me. Can you please not have dreams about me? Thank you. JH is watching it on TV. And I'm on MH phone. On MH? What is MH? I don't know. My phone? Oh yeah, you probably meant to press Y. H is just next to Y. Yeah. I literally saw your message just after I said it. Do you know what? I really need to keep keeping a glass of water next to me. Otherwise, I can't talk anymore. Also, I'm gonna create like a meme now of just the sound of me drinking water. Somebody needs to make a compilation of me drinking water. No, don't do that actually. That's a really bad idea. Okay, right. I keep sort of wanting to rotate it, but then I get scared, so I stop. Should we go for one? Yeah, we don't want to waste too much geometry on these little things. No offense, I mean these fins are fabulous, but the thing is sometimes we actually care about our computers, and we don't want to wreck them. If any of you know like a good source for copyright-free music, let me know. Because I know a few, like Ben sounds quite decent. There's a few other ones, but that's probably the best. But yeah, because I just want to find some more stuff that's good. Because this isn't bad. But it's pretty much the only one that isn't bad. Well, in this context. Some things that, like calming music's probably better for like tutorials, which is what I often use, but how's that looking? Is that okay? See what we're looking at here? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Not too bad. And then we'll move it over a bit. It's definitely not in the right place, that's for sure. Scale it up a tiny bit. The thing with scaling up is you often just end up moving things in weird ways that you didn't intend. I'm a weird person that I can't remember funny stories. Yeah, do you know what? I have so many horrible dreams, it's incredible. Can I be on your stream? We can model together. What, you do modelling? No way do you do 3D modelling. What software do you use? Do you use Blender? Please say you use Blender. Blender's the best. Best at torturing me. It's got to be a bit closer. See, now I'm thinking they're out of scale. But then everything I make's out of scale, so that's fine. That's too true. Alright, let's just scale these up a little bit. Also, they need to be on that individual origins. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that now. I need to stop saying that because I'm going to say it like 100 million times. But also, one thing I've noticed is if you see this metal panel sort of comes past here, and if I was to do a metal panel here, it might be clipping the edge, so I'm going to move these over. I didn't need to explain all that. You could have just seen what I was going to do, but, you know, that would be too much work. Using your eyes. Alright, that's good. Yep, I'm happy. No, I'm definitely happy with that. Dear me. The amount of times I'm going to say that is incredible. Alright. Could you imagine the amount of, like, vertices that would have taken to, like, model it out of here? To, like, extrude it up? Oh my goodness. That would have been incredible. Hello. Toasty's back in the room. Yes, I used to do 2D modelling. What's that like? What do you mean 2D modelling? Like, is it literally? Can you use Blender for 2D modelling? I assume that's just where you make planes into different shapes. I don't know. That sounds quite interesting. You could actually use the knife tool. That'd be quite good, actually. I can imagine this would be quite good for making 2D art. If you didn't want to, you know, draw it, you could actually 3D model it. Or 2D model it. Sorry. Looking good. Oh, everybody's gonna start saying looking good now. Oh god. Can I be in your stream? I keep forgetting you said that. Well, while I'm doing this, no, because I don't want to end up like getting distracted and absolutely mess everything up, because I know I do that every time. If I speak to somebody, whatever I'm doing just gets put by the wayside, so... Wayside or wayside? I don't actually know what that saying is. I just sort of hear it and I just regurgitate it. I don't know. I remember I created a 3F realistic mug, 3D realistic mug? I don't know. In Blender with proper lighting and stuff. It was a while ago though. That's the first thing you should do. When you do modelling, like for the first time, you should just like make mugs. That's what I did anyway. It's so satisfying because you get a really nice finish, especially in Blender when you use the 3D rendering engine. Super good. Yeah. I was going to say he, but I didn't want to assume. So yeah, we'll just assume. Well, we know now. But you can sort of tell from the picture. I feel offended. No, you shouldn't feel offended. It's an easy mistake to make. That's one thing I don't understand why people get offended about. It's just like, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, in my opinion. Oh goodness, politics. Wait, that's politics, right? Oh, I don't know. Can you tell how much I know? I know so much, right? So much. Anyway. I was being sarcastic in case you were like thinking I was bragging there. I definitely do not know a lot, especially about the world. I know a little bit about Blender, that's fair enough to say, but about the rest of the world, good luck. I bet that sounded horrible when I did that. The microphone probably exploded. Not a 95 stock. 95? Mike, how close is the train to completion? It's not far. As you can see, like, we've got a fair bit done. We're already almost done on this whole section here. We've got to do the handbrake. Not the handbrake. The emergency brake. Like, basically, all I'm going to model on this panel here is just these things. So you've got a few little buttons here. This is just going to be a flat texture. I don't really know what this is. We're going to model it anyway. Yeah, what else? See, and initially I was considering doing this because I was like, yes, let's be lazy. But then I realised how grimy it was, and then I'd sort of feel bad that I'm sort of cheating massively. You know, the idea that I'm modelling, you know, a clean version. Now, this isn't exactly clean, but it's much better, and I really don't have the time to add all that dirt and stuff. So, as much as I'd love to make each of these a separate texture and then draw dirt on, I don't think it's particularly realistic. In the future, right, I can still do that. Once the textures are all in the engine, I can still manipulate them. So, and then it will just update. So, yeah. So we'll look into adding some more surface detail soon. But right now, I just want to get this train into the engine fairly bare bones. Because I'm not expecting this train to be the best thing of all time the moment it gets into the engine. So you can also animate in Blender too. Okie dokie. That'd be really helpful actually. You could do my animating for me. I actually really like animating. I'm no good at it, but I like it. I can just about do a door. And that's about it. But if you actually want to know time scale wise, I'd say this would take 2 more weeks before we get it in the engine. Like, I won't stream all of it, but I just want to get the fun stuff out of the way. I guess this is fun. I mean, it's way more fun than doing flipping windows. We're not going to do the windows. I won't do them on stream, though I probably completely rip my hair out doing them, as I've said previously. Not the actual windows, but the window seals, like the edges, the metal rims. That's also the unrefurbished cab. Yeah, I know. I'm just like saying I was going to merge the two concepts. But yeah, I wonder how we could do modelling together. Yes, definitely. Do you know, I'm actually looking for people to help me model the actual game, you know, like some of the scenery, but the thing is, I don't want people to spend their time making this if it doesn't end up going anywhere, you know? So, I'd rather I only wasted my time, rather than everybody else's time. Especially if the licensing becomes a pain. Don't worry, I will let you guys play the game, even if TFL kills me. So, yeah, don't tell them that. I'll release it for free whether I get the licensing or not, but I won't probably make it too obvious that I've done it, you know? Because I don't care what they say at this point, you know? Not that I have any issue with them, but right. Anyway, let's do this. Let's get this done. You know. And if worse comes to worse, I'll probably just end up removing the underground signs, and that's about it. You know, like as if they care. You know. Oh, if you want to help, definitely. I'll definitely consider it. Because I definitely need some more help. It will take too long otherwise. But again, I want you to be able to see the mechanics first so you know what you're getting yourself into, because right now the actual scripts for the game are very, very basic. So they're nothing like Train Simulator. Please don't come into this expecting like Train Simulator level of physics, because it's not going to happen. Not yet anyway. Maybe at some point. It'll just take a long time to slowly develop and improve things. If I get my head around Blender with my 95 stock project, then I can model stuff. Oh yeah, definitely. And I would say just sort of start working on like basic geometry, like houses and stuff first, because trains are not an easy thing to do. Okay, yeah. Let's just sort of get this sorted out now, because it's probably annoying you me sort of doing this, and it's annoying me. So it's annoying me knowing it's annoying you, you know. Right, anyway, let's get this to scale. This guy have four button cases on it. It's going to be a little bit skinnier, probably about there. Scale it vertically a tiny bit. Sorry, not vertically. On the y-axis. There you go. And that'll probably do. Again, it's going to have rounded corners, which is why I have left it in this group. I'd love to show you 2.8. I'm just a little bit nervous at the moment. Once we get... actually, Shay, have you tried 2.8? It's so good. Toasty's actually been trying it recently. He tried it last night, and he probably doesn't like it, I can imagine. Blender's always a bit of a struggle to get used to. Let's scale it on the Y a little bit. Scaly X. Scaly X. Ooh, that's a new one. Scaly X. Whereabouts is that? Let's have a good look. Make sure it's fairly centered. Otherwise, that'll bug me for the rest of eternity. And yeah, scale it on the Z because it's definitely too thick. I want to exaggerate things slightly just so it pops out more to cover up all the imperfections. You know. I'll try not to mess everything up, but it's not going too bad. The window thing is still on my mind, and it never won't be, but in case you don't understand, I'll explain it at some point. But if you look at the last video, I sort of explained it poorly. Actually, no, that's too much geometry. Definitely too much. Alright, is that good? I'm not going to say it's looking good. Wait, is that my saying? It's looking good? I don't know. I can't remember what I say anymore. It is looking good though. Somewhat. I mean, it's only a rectangle. Or a cuboid. I don't know. Is a cuboid just a rectangular cube? I think so. You think I'd know these things. I know what a torus is. I mean, that's sort of useless information I know. Because it's like a basic shape in Blender. That's why. It's not like I research shapes. If I did, I would know what a cuboid is. Let's have a look, make sure that's looking good. There's not a lot you can mess up with this though, to be honest. Why does it keep opening up the render result? I'm gonna have to get Shay to help me here. Why does it keep doing that? I save it and it still comes up. Like, if I close this panel, right, let's have a look. Let's open it up. It's the render result. No way. Oh my goodness. Somebody's gonna die today. Who is it? Is it the guy who makes Blender? Oh, I can't remember his name. He's not in trouble though. He's a good guy. Toasty, can I have a look at your 95 stock? Oh, it's so basic at the moment. It's not fair to judge it because he only started yesterday. So I mean, and I don't think he's modelled any of the shell yet. So he's just got it set up and ready. So it wouldn't be fair to judge it. Yeah, oh yeah, he already said that. It's only a template. Oh god, why do I not read it first? I should actually read what he's saying. Sorry, I do apologise. I can make a website if you're... I can make a website where you can publish your models and people can buy them to use in their games. Animations, what do you think? I actually already published my models on TurboSquid, so I probably won't be publishing this one, but because of the windows, they're a pain to sort out, and I don't think that's fair for anybody to pay real money for. But what's that? Is that looking good? Hold on. Prepare for the crashing. Is it going to crash? My microphone will definitely go funny. Yep, looking good. Fantastic. Lovely jubbly. Right. Perfect. Look at how many materials we've got just for this unit here. And we have, like, this many materials. It's pretty mental. I have way more than that. What's it going on about? There you go. Yeah, you see, it sort of just goes on forever. That's what's scaring me at the moment, if I'm honest with you. When I go to put this into the Unreal Engine, that's what's scaring me. Probably the most. It's not the It's not the animating. It's not the animating, like, of the buttons and the doors and stuff that bothers me. It's the materials. They're gonna look so crap when I put them in the engine at the start. But what can you do? Well, you cannot be a terrible designer. Yeah, also, I don't know if you should say shell. I keep saying that. I assume this is like a shell body, right? Would you call it a shell? Because I don't want people to start saying things I say and it be completely, like, incorrect. This is not a shell. It's a sophisticated metal body with many incredible things that shells don't have. I don't know. But anyway, there you go. Would be terrible if it... Nah, I make sure I save it. Whenever the only time I panic is if I accidentally turn it into rendered view when I haven't saved it. Like, if you ever see me do that, that's me saving it. So Control S and then I click the button. If you move your mouse away, it sort of disappears, which is a neat feature. I don't think all programs do that because they like to be lazy. He saves, so it's okay. Yeah, I do indeed. I save a fair bit. In fact, I'm going to save right now as a separate file. I do this a lot. That's why we're on save 85. Oh dear. Still makes me laugh. I don't know why. I'm pretty stupid. Yeah. Anyway. You know when they tell you to save in school? Yeah, that's my rule. But I also save multiple files, so it ends up making gigabytes of storage of data just on these save files. Yeah. It's a bit silly, really. Anyway, also, I think these lights need to be redesigned, because they're, right now, this is just, like, one thing. Where is it? Yeah, so basically these lights have an outer sort of material, but it is just one object. And I think I want to make this glass, and then move the light emission inside the actual outer sort of rim of this. So that way, when I go into the engine, if I decide that I... didn't want to have the lights on all the time, because right now the way it is, I think this is going to have to be on all the time. So we'll see. And I definitely don't want that, so we'll have to think of a workaround for that one. Yeah. A workaround. Yeah, in model railway terms, it's a body shell. If anyone disagrees, fight me. That's an interesting way of saying fight, but okay. Do we want to add screws to this? From what I can tell, we don't. No screws. That's magical. How did they do that? Magic. The only time that I care about if it crashes is if, like, bad things happen. No, if I do a lot of work and then I forget to save it, because that does happen, but not too often, luckily. Alright, so we've done that. We've got the yellow thing going on here. Might add some little metal bladey things. I don't know what they are. Little switches, flickermadoodles. I don't know. But anyway, point is, as I don't know. Yeah, we'll do the emergency handbrake. Yeah, let's call it handbrake. Yeah, boys, handbrake. I mean, it's a brake that you can apply with your hand, so I guess I don't see why it shouldn't be called that. But then these could all be hand buttons. Oh, shut up. Right, anyway, let's just do some stuff. Anyway, so this is going to be interesting. Also, one thing I really rushed was the windscreen wipers, so I don't know if they're any good. I think they're okay. I sort of rushed them though. That is really hard to see. Yeah, I think it's okay. Again, it's going to pivot from here, from this point up here. Okay, anyway. Let's get this. Also, one thing I've just noticed is I sort of just plonked this square on without caring. Oh, actually, why does that look so dark? Shay, why does this look so dark? I'm joking. It's the normals are incorrect. They're the opposite way round. If you spotted that, that's very clever, because I used to always forget to change the normals. Anyway. Okie dokie. I need to move this. That's what it's going to do. Because it's, for starters, way too big. Is it still attached? Yes, it is. Let's move it over there a little bit. And scale it down a little bit more. See? Because it was way too big before. Now it's well scaled, I think. It's appropriately scaled for the rest of the body of it. Because again, I think this does look a little bit too long, but because this goes to the edge here and it goes right to the edge of the window, it sort of has to work like that, because not everything I've done is perfectly, you know, sized. Because again, it's made by me, which is what you should expect. I am, you know, a bit of a pleb when it comes to making things perfectly sized, because, I don't know, I think a lot of people struggle with that. At least I do, so I like to think everybody struggles with it, but they probably don't. Anyway, let's stop messing about now. So what I'm thinking, is this on the, I don't know where that was going. So that's got to be the handle. So if we look at this, I don't really want to model it at the angle, because what will happen then is when I try and extrude stuff, it will sort of go funny. So we are just going to model it as if it was facing towards the window, and then we'll move it around. Yeah, we'll do that. So, in fact, there's not nearly as much space here as there is on the actual thing. So the sizing is going to be a little bit off, but because again, everything's slightly out of scale, so we'll sort of hope. Oh, come on, the right way. There we go. So there's that. I think that's smooth enough. How many? 32 vertices. That's probably okay. So this is just going to be a metal tube, and then we're going to have a little box around it. So we have more room than I thought we would, actually. It's not as small as I thought it'd be. That's fine. Let's get rid of this bottom face, because it'll make it look slightly less horrendous. Let me just make sure I don't make too much before it goes out of scale. Come on, where's this? That needs to be extruded one way or another, whether or not it's going to be here. Nah, let's... Yeah, we'll extrude that. And then add, like, a thing there. And then scale these out. Not that much. How high is that? Again, here's the picture I'm looking at, just so you know. I would leave it here, but every time I click onto Blender, it gets rid of the window, so I can't do that. We'll inset this to about... I've got to be really careful what I'm doing here because this is adding a lot of vertices. Maybe 32 was too many potentially, but Shay, if you're still watching, would you approve of my method of doing that? Of using a crease instead of pulling up the vertices? Or is that something you don't like? Because it saves a lot on performance if you do that. Whereas if you were to make more vertices, and it sort of gives it a smoother look, but it doesn't... It's not as light on the processing stuffs. I don't want to say the processor, because then you go, well, it's not a processor, it's a GPU actually that's probably going to be doing the computation power. So, right, let's drag that across, move it down maybe a little bit. Again, that's probably got to be solid. It sort of adds a rippling, which is debatably not ideal, but if you just add like that, it sort of helps a bit. Who comes up with these designs? They're mental. I think this needs to go up a little bit. Moves this up a little bit. See what's going on now? It's working together. If you ever hear me like go quiet for a second, usually it's because I'm sort of looking at my other monitors, so I move my mouth away from the microphone. Right, okay, let's get rid of this face. I take it Shay wasn't watching because he didn't respond. Sad face. These faces here are sad. Is that forward? No, oh, don't do that. Goodness. Vertices, how dare you. I think that's lining up quite nicely. And yeah, this does need to move over, for sure. Oh, hold on. What am I doing? Yes, you are correct. Trains are a pain to make. Just in general, everything is. Yeah, I just realised this needs to be a separate object, so a simple fix for that is to select all these, except from these ones. Oh, okay. Did that not work? There we go. So if we were to move them about, they should all move. What is going on there? I have a face selected. Sorry, a vertex selected. So that needs to be separate. So that's for certain. See how it changed? That doesn't look too bad actually. So where is it in the list? We're going to call this emergency, because this is going to have to be, this has to be a separate object, so that's fine. I'm happy separating it anyway. But all of these, a lot of these don't need to be separate, so we will apply them right at the end when we're completely done with the train, with this front train piece, drive unit. This will, I'll compile all these down. Again, probably could do something there. And I don't think that looks to be too good, but that's alright, yeah. There is more detail on that, but I think it'll be too much. We're already up to 118,000 vertices, so... Again, that's too big. Scale that down without the Y. Lovely. Nice. Oh, do you know what I really could have done? So I could have moved that first. Damn, I'm an idiot. Oh, God. I'm a turd. Why didn't I do that? These are never going to be lined up perfectly if I don't do this, so I've got to do this. Why would I not do that? Where's the bottom of that? That's fine. Could be up a little bit so it doesn't waste. I don't know. It doesn't use any compute power to render the length of things. It's only the points, so that's kind of pointless. Literally. How's that? That's fine. This is too high. Smoother. Lovely. That doesn't need to even do that anymore, I don't think. Oh, I guess it could do. But anyway, let's separate these two again. Selection. And these are going to be... Oh, I should have copied the name. Efficiency is not my middle name, as I've said. Emergency... break. Why am I separating the names? The Unreal Engine likes to put underscores, so that annoys me. The horizontal cylinder should be coloured red since it is an emergency brake. Oh yeah, I know. We'll get to that. I can see on the picture here. If I couldn't see that, I'd be amazed. Don't you worry, I've got you sorted. Oh my goodness. Which one should we pick? That one, and not that one. This is not a very good learning experience. If you were trying to like learn from this is not the right thing to do. If you tell me that you were trying to learn, then I would probably explain things as I go, but otherwise it's not worth thinking about, because I think if you want to learn to do Blender, you're probably looking at Blender Guru. If you look his channel up, it's really good. That's where I learned most of my stuff. Just make sure these are definitely lined up. Is that... Don't want to go into too much detail. I think that'll do. And again, the more detail you add, the more you have to unwrap. Hooray! That's done it perfectly. No way. Just gonna check the UV's fine, though I think I've done enough UVs to know that that should be okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jacob, one thing to look forward to is when you're doing UVs, just hope that you eventually understand. Do you get the concept already? The idea of UVs. It's one you sort of just naturally learn. Once you understand the idea, you naturally do it. My UVs aren't even the best, so they're pretty lazy. Mark seam there. Again, if this was texture painted or if I was using like weathered effects, this would look a little bit funny, but you can't do much about that, to be honest. You sort of have to do your best to make sure they look seamless as possible. There's no way of getting around UVs, not that I know of. Right, that's fine. That's not going to work. Still not going to work. In fact, actually, yeah, that's fine. And then we should unwrap that. Should be fine. Yep. I should potentially put these on the same UV map, just so it saves space. Though I won't be doing anything with them. So yeah, UVs aren't a particularly complicated concept. They just seem complicated. They are fairly simple. I think this could be scaled a little bit right at the end, just to make it look like I've put some proper thought into everything. Though of course I haven't, because you know that's me. Imagine me putting thought into things. Do you know what? Does that actually need the modifier? Ooh, it kind of does, you know. Kind of does. If I was to scale that, potentially not. What are we thinking? That could be okay actually. Yeah, look at that. We saved ourselves over 1,000 vertices by doing that. I think that's okay. And this just looks smooth anyway. The only thing is I need to move that back. Let's scale in a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Scale that in. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Oh, I said I wasn't going to say that anymore. I'm just adding more vertices by doing that, but it's not nearly as much as if I was to use the entire modifier. You see how it doesn't look much different? So, right, let's UV unwrap it again. Lovely. That looks very different now. But it's because I've moved things, but that's fine. Again, doesn't matter. Right, so this is going to be red for the most part, so we can actually get rid of that modifier now. And this one probably doesn't need it either, but because it's part of that group it has to have it, so we'll see. So where are we? Red button. Should it be the same colour as the button? I think so, that'll work. But it's sort of more weathered on that handbrake. It's interesting because I didn't think that would be something that would ever get used, so I'm surprised it's actually scratched at all. But, so, we'll just assume the person who drove this train never touched the handbrake. So, there we go. I don't think we need this line of faces here. Because if you like, would you be able to get down there? You see, even there looks okay. So I think I'm happy with that being without a face on the bottom. In fact, I could just add one like that. Yeah, that looks alright. There you go. Fix. I just did nothing by doing that, but oh well, it's fine. Oh, now I need to unwrap it again. It completely changes. It changes the layout so much every time for no reason. There's no reason to it. It just does it because it sort of goes, oh well, you want me to UV unwrap it? Okay, well I'll just do it completely from scratch as if you've never done it before, and we'll just choose a random way of doing it. That's UV unwrapping. One thing to note here is that this should be smaller, but not much smaller, because there needs to be room for a square. I think I'm going to make the square just above here so it doesn't overlap. It's amazing how I still call them squares despite the fact that I use cubes so often. It's ridiculous. To be used for emergency purposes. I know, right? But, like, how often do they have an emergency that they have to use an emergency handbrake? Like, surely it would take ages to get over to the emergency handbrake, you know? Maybe the brakes fail all the time. Oh god, that's something I never thought about. Oh, I'd hate that. I wouldn't want to be on that train when they use these emergency handbrakes. But don't worry, in Virtual Underground you'll be able to use the emergency handbrake all you want. We encourage you to use the emergency handbrake. Do you know what? I've played London Underground Simulator a fair bit, and I've never used the emergency handbrake. It's there, and I'm fairly certain it functions, but I've never used it. Maybe it doesn't. Ooh, that's a plot twist. Anyway, let's get this done. A little bit above that, and then scale it up a little bit. There you go. Height-wise, it's not bad. So that'll do. Scale on the X. How's that looking? Looking saucy? Wait, which one doesn't look good? Is it this one? Well, I don't want to move them individually, but anyway, I think that looks alright. And then just like two sort of in the center. No, one in the center. Okay, immediately something doesn't look right. I think it's the scale, the height of it. Yeah, that's better. Lovely. Looking good. And now... so this here, well, we want to unwrap that in a way that you can't really see. So again, probably one of these front edges. And this needs to be unwrapped. Dead man's. I never used it. I just released the deadpan's handle. Oh right, I see why you corrected. Deadpan's handle. Yeah, boys. I can't say I've ever really needed to use it. I just try and drive as well as possible all the time because I'm a pleb and I like driving properly. Like, I only play London Underground Simulator if I'm actually going to drive properly. Now, theoretically, this isn't the best way to do it, what I'm doing here. So, let's not do the top one. Oops. Riveting stuff, right? Okay, looking good. That's quite a nice shape. And now, if we rotate everything, we should be good. I don't even need that crease there anymore. And then what I was going to do is... What was I going to do? Right. Oh, yeah, I was going to move this up actually slightly. No, I wasn't. That looks horrendous. But actually, this one could go down a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. What did that do, you ask? I don't know, not really a lot. Deadpan's handle. Let me find a different song. I'm bored of this one. This one's been playing for way too long. Yeah, that'll do. The only disadvantage of streaming is that I can't listen to proper music because I can't separate it, so it doesn't. Because the problem is what's happening is it goes straight through to the stream, so I can't really just set it to only play through my headphones. It's a little bit annoying, but oh well. What can you do? Yep, that's all good. And then we just want to rotate it, so. Ah, that's a problem. That is a problem. Yeah. Wait, can you see that outside? No, that doesn't go, so I could technically have that merging through. It doesn't look great, does it? Wait, is that the window? No, it's not. That's not even the window. Okay, what do we recommend? Do I move it this way and overlap that a bit more? That's probably the best bet. Just because I think the scale of this is fairly good. So I don't really want to change it too much. Yeah, so we'll just rotate that as much as possible. Yeah, that's alright. And then rotate this. This is where things go really annoying. Bad. I could have done the thing I did earlier, but I was like, nah, it's not worth it. It's not going to go too far off. Right. That'll do. We're officially done with this? No, we're not. We've got to material it. Material it? Material it. You know? Materials are lit. That's one way to say. What is going on here? That makes no sense to have that along there. Did I not add it? Oh. Don't need that seam there then. And that. I think it needs to be moved forward a bit. Does it? That really hasn't helped because I haven't changed the colours of it. Wait, when did I change the colour of it? I don't remember doing that. That's weird. See, the problem is on this picture I can't tell if that is actually a different coloured blue or if it's just the light shining off it. Because I would say that's a lighter blue. But I don't know. So, should we keep it safe? Nah, Because in real life, you know that would probably be two separate pieces anyway. But for like cleanliness sake, I should probably go for that because it sort of looks like it's merged. So yeah, we'll go for that. I think that looks fine. Once the bone's on there anyway, we'll be able to work out where it should really turn. I think it's alright. It honestly doesn't need to be that perfect anyway. Alright, that's good. I'm happy with that. My motto of life. I'm happy with that. Alright, so now we need to add the metal casings on this. Okie dokie. I must admit, like, modeling's not very exciting. Ooh, that performance is going downhill. I think that's too high resolution. Let's have a look. Right, so have we got any buttons? Buttons temp. Where are these? Oh, what? Buttons. It needs a better name because it doesn't make sense. I guess it does. Yeah, we'll add it to the buttons. Yeah, okay, that's why I did it, because I had no modifier on these ones, which is perfect. In fact, could potentially... No, I'm going to have to do it for different cases because they look different. They're also a less shiny metal, which is really annoying. But who will notice, you know? Somebody. Now that I've said that, you will definitely remember. It looks like right in the corner. Oh no, what it is, right? It's not that it's right here. Basically, it's the fact that the scale is wrong. So, you see how the window literally comes right up to the edge of this panel here? Well, this is where my panel is. It's right here. And their window literally comes to here. But again, because it's not been modelled absolutely perfectly, it doesn't do that. So. It should do that, which is correct, but it doesn't. Because when you're modelling lots of things, it's easy to lose track of where everything's going and keeping an eye on the scale at the same time. The back of my throat really hurts. It's making me talk funny. Water time! Yay! I'm sure that will help. Average watch time is 15 minutes. That's mental. Why would you watch this for 15 minutes? We've been going for over an hour now. How much do we have to show for it? Not a lot, to be fair, but that's the way modelling usually ends up being. See, I'm just trying to do these buttons now. Just trying to get the casing sizes correct so I can use it on all of the buttons and not have to worry. And I can UV wrap them as you do. Don't try and make faces out of that, please. Thank you. So how big are these buttons? They're fairly big. That's pretty hefty buttons. So I think that's about right. Yeah. And then extrude it down once again. Blender is being amazing. Don't think this needs to go as far down, but actually I will do it as far down. Joe, this reminds me of when I was making that machine. Do you guys remember the machine? You know, the one where you had to like hit the ball into the holes. You'd have to drop it in, and you get more points depending on the thing you got it in. Yeah, it reminds me of that. I had to make this shape all the time. Lots and lots of like tubes. Nothing related to the tube though. Would have been nice. Okie dokie. Let's unwrap this first before I forget. Ooh, this is a tricky one actually. I'd say this edge is probably the best one there, and then that one there. Just so, like, you know, when you're looking at it, you don't see the seam. Again, it's mainly just for lighting. If you were doing textures, that'd be way more important. But because I'm just using a material here, because you really can't use like silver textures, you have to use materials for that. Otherwise, the reflections, you'll get weird reflections and stuff in the image, and that is not fun. So there's our UV map. Okay. That button's pretty big in real life. It's not exactly the smallest button, so I still think it's a tiny bit big. So that's got to be shiny metal button. Oh yes. Shift D, Shift Y, Shift. It should be Shift X. Yeah, there you go. Don't know why I wasn't doing that before. Now, actually, potentially, I might use an array here. Maybe not. Because I've got these buttons over here and they'll be included in the array. Okay, forget the array. It's just I wanted to make it so they're perfectly separated, but that'll be too much work. Because now I'm sort of having to guess where they should be. Which is fine. In fact, if I think they're fairly well separated, I could just select both and then duplicate them. Are you bored yet? They're not perfect, but I think I could separate these two a little bit more. I have face select on, which means I keep selecting just the ones that are connected, and when I add a seam it separates the mesh basically. But I use face select so I can sort of see these squares could be a reference point to how high off this thing they should be. And then this one can move a little bit as well. Yeah, looks okay. They do need to be moved a little bit though. Like all of them. There's still too far left. Okay. I'll add some buttons. Who likes buttons? I like buttons. Ski ball. Ski ball. There's a lot of latency on the chat, so I'm not sure what I was saying at the time. What was I saying? Wait, you're going to have to explain to me what I was saying. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Just make sure the scale's right before I try rotating things. Now, to be honest, really it doesn't matter how tall the button is, so... I can't see this. Alright, we shouldn't need that for a little while now. Skee-ball, 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 skee-ball. I don't know what I was saying. Would it be nicer if they were protruding a little bit? Because they're not in the actual thing, but it sort of makes you want to press them more if they're protruding. Yeah, I think that's fairly even around the edges. Do you know what I could do? Is if I choose these faces and choose flat, then it sort of makes it look neater around here, and then the edges are still smooth. I think that's probably a better way of doing it. Nah, do you know why I'm not going to do that? Because in this image here, they are slightly curved, and this Ripley effect does look a little bit weird up close, but if you were looking at it, you would much prefer the smooth look of that than if they were flat. So, yeah, that's why I'm not going to do that. I'm amazed there's still a single person watching this. I really appreciate your patience. The fact that you are watching this actually blows my mind. This may well be the most dull thing you can see on this planet. Yeah, looks about right. Lovely. We'll take that and rotate it a little bit. When I say that looks about right, what I should say is it looks about right for this very moment in time. For this amount of work. But I will obviously move it because, you know, that would be absurd not to. There's no point spending too much time on doing each one because otherwise I'll be here forever. But let's make that smooth because it all should be... What? Why is that not going smooth? Is it because it hasn't got material on it? Oh, there we go. Much better. Nice shiny button. That should be red. I naturally went for black and it should have been red. There's actually an easier way of looking at this. I could just do this. Right, so I've just got to work out what I'm looking at here. Yeah, that looks perfect to me. Ah. That's the problem. It's too high. It's protruding a little bit on the other one, isn't it? It's not as much on this. I should get an award for the most riveting content ever uploaded to YouTube. Would you nominate me? Pretty good stuff, right? I'm not going to be too careful about them anymore because it's not worth it. Yeah, that's fine. This one is going to be red. This one here is going to be black. Door black. No, I want a black button. Wait, can I duplicate things? No, I can't. So we'll do black button. And this one's going to be the first black button. I'm surprised we haven't had another black button yet. Okay. Principled, let's go solid black maybe? Not solid, solid black, but metallic, definitely metallic. What have I set for the red one? I want them to look consistent. Oh, it's not metallic. Oh yeah, I decided it was going to be plastic, didn't I? So yeah, we'll just go, it's going to be plastic. And we'll assign that to that. And then we can check the material view to see if it is actually what we want it to be. Yeah boy, looking good. We can take the black button actually, because that's the one that we want over here. Save us a tiny bit of work. Right, the buttons are done. Those ones. Just these buttons. Keep in mind, it's only these buttons, don't you worry. We've still got millions of other buttons to do. But these ones are the ones that are all going to do stuff. I think. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I never know what I'm doing anymore. Did I UV unwrap these? Oh, I didn't. How did I forget to do that? Oh, and I didn't even do these either. Oh my goodness. Did I do these? Oh, thank God I did them. Guys, I'm useless. Also, I still do need to unwrap these main console things here. I definitely knew about that, but because they might change a lot over time, we'll see. So that could mark there, and there, and there. Don't know where they're going. Okay, so they are going underneath. Yeah, that should work actually the way it is. Let's have a look. That would be the easiest unwrap of all time if it actually works. Oh, go away. Render result. Is that what we wanted? I'm not too sure. That should theoretically be okay. I'm not sure why it doesn't. I'm sort of struggling to get my head around this. So that's the middle piece. Oh yeah, no, that's perfect. That is basically as uniform as it's going to get. Perfect. They're flickering. These aren't, so these ones over here need to move up. Just so that you can get like a fair distance away before they start flickering. So that's fine. Could do with rotating that a bit. Not too sure why that's wonky, but... or how that's wonky. Because the other one isn't. But that's fine. What was I going to do? Yeah, I was going to unwrap this. Oops. Perfect. Unwrap. Done. Boom. Easy. I wish everything was that easy. Hello, Teresa. Teresa? Teresa? Oh god, I do this every time. I see somebody's name like, well, hey, let's just mess it up. Sawi, yes. I can't speak and I can't say people's names. I guess they both come under the same category, so I guess that's fair enough. But yeah, welcome. Hello. Where are we? In case you weren't aware, we have some sayings here. We've got, where are we? And that's looking good. There are sayings of the day. Probably going to be the thing I say the most often. And I don't know what I'm doing. So all those things are common things that get said by me. Things is also apparently a common thing I say. Right, okay, so that's looking good. They're all unwrapped. Is this unwrapped? Yeah, that is unwrapped. When did I do that? Who knows? I'm going to look at these videos one day and go, wow, I have no idea how I did all this. And like, without messing it up while looking at chat and images and stuff. But I'm sure I'll find something that I've completely messed up at some point. Tari or Tari? I'll call you Tari because it probably makes more sense. But if it's short, it's probably Tari. I don't know. Okay, Tari. Okay, anyway. Welcome. Thank you for joining me on this extremely boring and long journey that I'm sure you won't want to stick around for too long because it's pretty dull. Alright, so emergency brake's done. Got these. So this is what it's looking like. This is what the image I'm working off looks like. So it's not too far off. That is... On the image, that's curved. And on here, it's absolutely solid. So maybe you want to do a little thing about that. I could just... Yeah, okay. We'll just move these along a bit. And then this needs to move up. So that it sort of makes a square. It usually looks best if it's squared out. Square. Lovely jubbly. And then we can re-unwrap that. There we go. Perfect. Perfection itself. Let's not move that. How are we doing then? Are we all doing okay? Having exciting days? Probably gone to the park, walked your dog. All these fun things that I probably should be doing, but I'm not. And there's a fly looking at me on my window. Isn't that nice? Anyway, the point is so this is actually really awful. See, if you look at the picture here, now you probably know this if you're a trained nerd, but this main handle here and this little bit at the bottom is two separate pieces, and that's what allows you to use the dead man's handle system. Whereas what I've sort of done is I've cheated. I've gone, okay, so let's model as if, like, because imagine there's going to be like a plane here, and actually, yeah, that'd be really easy for me to show you. But basically, if I was to add like a plane here, there's going to be like a little turntable thing that this will turn around on, and when you were to use the dead man's handle, it would like sort of rotate, you know, if I could actually do it. Yeah, so if the plane wasn't attached, it would rotate. And then it would go up, obviously, because it'd be actually on a bone, so the bone would sort of articulate it. And then you would see this little bit pop up at the bottom, but that's not how it's meant to work. That's just the way I was thinking of doing it. But I'm sort of thinking that I probably won't include that anyway. I probably won't include the dead man's handle function, so it might just get left redundant, so we'll see. Because I'm not too sure right now about how I would animate that. Because essentially the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to animate it so you go from, like, oh, I've got a really good picture here. So you know how you can go through all these settings. You've got shutdown, shunt, series, parallel, all that rubbish, right? Well, I'm going to animate it so it goes shutdown to emergency. Emergency to service application, and I have to do each one in reverse as well. It's definitely the most efficient way, and it's going to use up the most storage, but it won't do a lot for performance, so that'll be alright. And the thing with London Underground Simulator, the one thing I never liked about it is the way it sort of just snapped in place. It would just snap straight to emergency and then all the way around. And I think that's the way they've sort of got away with doing the dead man's handle system, because it would be so much quicker. But if I was animating it to go shutdown to emergency and back, and then if I was to include the dead man's handle feature, it would then have to fold, it would sort of have to lift up, and that would have to happen at every single position. And then it would also have to do the turning animation around each position while the handle is up as well, and that's just way too much work. That's not realistic. So that feature probably won't be a thing. Because just animating it between the separate settings is fine. Yesterday I went to Central London on Victoria Line and Bakerloo Line, and I went to Piccadilly Circus. Ah, that's fun. Piccadilly Circus is a nice place. I think I love all tube stations. Just all areas near London are amazing in my opinion. So, did you have fun? Hopefully. I'm sure you won't be telling me if you didn't have fun. You'd be like, oh, it was a terrible time. You know, I got to go and see lots of trains. Oh, all these horrible things. Trains are the worst. I mean, most normal people probably hate trains. I remember all my friends at school, they used to hate trains. And I was the one person who was like, yeah, trains are epic. And they always thought I was joking. So, anyway. Yeah. So what are we doing? So we've got these modelled. What are we going to do next? Let's have a look. What have we got on the agenda here? So, this is done. I'm going to class this box as done. You may beg to differ, but I gotta say that's done. Maybe I'll add these little metal things, but for now that's done. This, I need to add these plaques. The buttons are done. This is all done. The textures here need to be added. But again, I don't really know what they say, so that'll be the very last thing I do, because I need to find out what they would actually do. And if I can't find out, I'm going to have to think systematically about every single button and where it's going to be and how it's going to work. I might have to do a bit of, you know, making up magical things. But, you had lots of fun. Good. I'm glad to hear. And I was sitting here modelling this train. Oh dear. No, you shouldn't feel bad for me. This is what I choose to do. What have we got? So we've got more buttons along here. Me too. I actually like the entire London Underground network. Yeah, I definitely. If I had the time, I would model every single line, and every train, and every tiny little speck of dirt on the tracks. It would be amazing. It's a lot of fun riding on different trains in the network. Yeah, I love the DLR. That's fun. It's like a roller coaster. Yeah, more literally than figuratively, but you know. What is this black button there? I don't know what that is. Jacob, what's that button? I don't know. Yeah, it's a mystery actually. These buttons, if we look far enough away, maybe we can make out what that says. Let's imagine. What could that word say there? Pull? Fill? Wait, okay. Let's just imagine what this text would say. What would this say? Oh, I don't know. I'm actually trying my hardest to imagine what these words say. Like to interpret them. But I have no idea. It's a mystery. Okay. That's not readable either. Damn it, I thought I was able to read something. Let's have a look. What have we got? Oh yeah, I need to do reverser. Don't let me forget the reverser. That would be embarrassing. Let's do that now actually. Why not? Should be easy enough. I say that and I spent like half an hour making a flipping cylinder. So that was not efficient. What is that? Oh, that's the camera. Oh yeah, I was messing around with some camera stuff last night, so let's hide that. In fact, let's not hide it. Let's just move it. Where to? Probably about there. I like to do renders every so often. Yeah, I don't know what the text says. It's a mystery. Let's change the song quickly. Hold on. Da, 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 da. Summer, what is this? Yeah, I guess we'll have some of this music. But if you know me, this music probably is horrible to hear because you've heard it too much. Okay. What is that? Oh, power handle. So we're just going to make a new object. Yeah, got it. This is going to be... Whoa, what is that? Whoa, what's going on here then? Cursor to center. Control Shift Alt C. Origin to 3D cursor. Okay, this should be the same, but it's not. Or is it? Yeah, it is, that's fine. Okay. And then what's this doing? Is this... That's in the center. If I was to spawn that there... I've learned something. If you click with the 3D cursor and then add something it sets the origin on the center of mass to the 3D cursor's location. That's really annoying. So I'm going to have to make sure that I'm always keeping an eye on where the origin is, because in case you don't know, if that origin is not at this exact location, 0, 0, 0, so on the X, Y, and Z, then things will go wrong. Like, I should be able to click on everything other than this. You see, the blue dot represents it, basically, but if I click on anything, and that blue dot is not right in the center of the grid, we have problems. And I'm not joking. That is a serious issue, and I have to make sure I sort it out. So I'm just going to quickly check that I haven't done anything where I've done that. Okay, I do apologise. I just want to make sure I haven't done that. Any of these buttons. Okay, I think we're all good. It was just that one. Alright. It's amazing how I actually noticed that. I'd probably go miles down the line and only then notice it, and we'd be all sad. That needs to be a cylinder. I've done this so many times now, it's incredible. I've spawned a cube instead of a cylinder. Wow. I am smart. What's going on? Okie dokie, that's fine. We haven't got the speedometer and stuff set up here yet. We will have a speedometer eventually, but for now we'll just have to make a, you know, like a little thingy, you know, one of these thingies. The actual speedometer, like text and stuff. But we'll add the needle in once it's in the engine. That should be easy enough to add the needle, but setting up the script to run it, that'll be a little bit of a pain. We might not have a speed gauge yet. So once it's straight in the game, we might not be able to tell the speed of the train, but I'll have it on the HUD to say the speed, because I actually do have that right now. So it does say the miles per hour. It's sort of a guess, programming-wise, but it does the job. It's accurate enough, in my opinion. Because getting miles per hour in a game is not exactly the easiest thing, from my experience. Have we got an image? Yes, we've got one here. This is a better image. It's not as high resolution as the other one, but where is it? Yeah, that one's a little bit higher resolution, but I know that if I do this one, I won't forget. Also, there's no like, is there meant to be a key in that? I think there's meant to be a key in that, and they've taken it out. So I guess when you go to drive, you have to insert the key. Yeah, we won't simulate that. We'll just leave it out. Yeah, that's fine. How high is that? I honestly don't know. It's sort of like playing Sudoku when you do this. You have to, when you place one piece in, then everything else sort of builds around that piece. So it doesn't matter where you start, things will just scale naturally. Because you'll see it and you'll go, oh yeah, that's out of scale, or well, that's perfect. Yeah, I definitely think you should all get into 3D modelling if you're not already, because it's great fun. Sometimes. I have to be honest, I don't want to say it's like really good all the time, because it's not. Like, this sort of stuff is really repetitive. When you don't see results for a long time, it's pretty dull. I could have done with another set of vertices, to be honest, all the way around, but I haven't done that. silly. Alright, let's get rid of it. Do you know what? Just get rid of all these. They're all rubbish. Throw them away. Come on. Off they go. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye to the vertices. And then let's just drag this down and start again. It's definitely flat, isn't it? Yeah. Too high. How did it get that high? Wow. Oh, okay. That's one way of being strange. Lovely. About there. Yeah, I'd say about there. So if we move it up a little bit and then add one of these thingamajiggies, a loop cut as it's called. That song doesn't loop very well at all. You can so clearly hear it. And then we'll scale it down on the Z. Now how I'm going to do this is interesting. So I could rotate a thing here, but that would make it horrible. So, see, because what I've got doing, I've got to make this ring around it. So that's going to be a pain. Well, it won't be. It shouldn't be hard, but it'll be annoying because it just sort of means I have messy geometry. Now, there is a cutout here, and I probably do want to model that. So, what do I think? Should I model it? It shouldn't be too hard. If I was just to add 2 loop cuts, I should literally just be able to cut out. But I also want to know exactly where I'm putting it first, like where the cutoff point is. Because it's not exactly clear where the reverser should stop, so ooh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Who wants to guess? I don't. There we go. That'll do, I think. Maybe not. That's better. Look, it's got a little happy face. Should we make it smile? Let's make it smile. Yeah. There we go. It's happy now. Look, oh, it's got a cheeky grin. Okay, no, I'll leave that. Oh god, what am I doing? Yeah, that looks about right. So this does have a little dimple on top. It's actually quite substantial, actually, so we'll definitely have to model that. Perfect. And what are we doing now? Reverser looks like the one from the C-Stock in Underground Sim. Yeah, it does, because that's what it does look like. I'm guessing again, because I honestly can't tell where the reverser is supposed to stop. Like, I assume it's going to be like 3 notches. Wait, what do you have? So you have... actually, I'm going to have to get a picture of that. So, reverser... I'm just working blind right now. I have no idea what it looks like. I'll just go C-Stock because I think they'll be the same. No, that brings up coins. Okie dokie. I don't know. If anybody can find a picture of one, definitely let me know, because I can't. I am looking. See, like, where is this? Help me. What shall I type in? Tube stock Versa? It doesn't exist. Okay, well that's fair to say. Nobody knows. Yeah, it doesn't. It's very strange. But do you know, I should just go into London Underground Simulator and just like find out what it is. Because that's the only way I know to get a picture of it. Because they must have gone into the trains and taken pictures. So I don't know how they could know that. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll leave the text for now anyway. There is a metal plate on top, in case you're wondering, so definitely have to add that. Probably could be the same as... Oh, the door metal frame. That's quite a similar material, to be honest, so we'll go for that. And let's definitely unwrap this before I forget. This is sort of white. What is going on with all these materials? Back of train, front texture, cab door, back. They're all white, but some of them have textures on. I don't know which ones because I've taken too long to know. So let's get one of these up and go white, reverser, switch or lever? Switch thing. I don't know. And it will just be a metallic white. Principled. That's fine as it is, to be honest. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's never fine. 0.4 roughness. Yeah, that's about right. See what I'm trying to replicate? Just this sort of colour here. It could be silver, to be honest, but from what I can tell, it's white. And again, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Okie dokie. This bit here probably could do with the same material. Oh. And that. Oh, I keep doing that. Right. It could be silver, like it could be a metallic sort of colour, but right now I don't care because this is not the. Basically, if you didn't know, the game is not a Blender game. It is a Unreal game. So we are going to export everything. So basically I just need a rough estimate of what the colour is going to be, so I just remember when I go to export it and I don't have to look at these pictures again and go, oh, what colour was that supposed to be? So let's unwrap this. Actually, I will duplicate just this row of faces. Move it down. Scale it massively. Down. Did I get you there? Did I make you think that we were going to scale it up? No. I'll scale it down. Why does that happen? Oh, because stuff. That's why. I remember now. Who is bored of the song? I am bored of the song. Dun, 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 I am bored of the song. Should we scale it on the Y a bit just so it sort of evens it out? I wouldn't do that normally. I wouldn't scale it in like certain directions if it's meant to be a circle, but that's fine. See, I think this is yeah, it's sort of supposed to be metallic, so I would say let's change this white to White, silver? Yeah, we'll go with white, silver. Metallic. And it's going to be quite light, so we'll just set that to the very whitest it goes. And 0.3 roughness, maybe 0.2. Yeah, that looks decent. Monitor's decided it wants to turn itself off. Lovely. Right, let's get this unwrapped, and I think we'll call it a day for now, because I need to go and look into what we're having for dinner. It's getting hungry. Getting hungry, man. Do you guys get hungry? I do. Yeah. Soz Res. Versa. What? What is going on? That's super sharp, isn't it? Is that too sharp? I think it's too sharp. Oh yeah, the little mouth here needs to be unwrapped. Get this. Maybe not that, should be alright. And now let's have a look how this UV is. These ones I'm a little bit unsure of. I'm a bit unsure when I do cylinders and circles and things. How's that? Yeah, that's not bad. I'm happy with that. Alright, lovely. Right, well that'll probably do me for now. This is where we got to. So, again, that looks funny because it's in thingy. Because it's in thingy view. You know thingy view? Who knows thingy view? Anyway, that'll probably do. I'll do a quick render for you so you can see. But I think that'll do me for now, you know. I think we've got a fair bit done, to be honest. Should we do a quick render? We'll do a quick render. Yeah, render. I'll show off from this angle what we've got done. Wow, that just cut off the emergency brake. So bad. Yeah, that's better. Right. My microphone's probably going to go mental now because we're rendering, but here we go. Order is off something for something and rev. Well, logically it should just be 4. So yes, you got 4 rev. Yeah, 4 rev. You have a neutral thing, don't you? So it's like off. Oh yeah, so you've put off something for something rev. Imgur link. Okay. Well, we probably won't do all that because that sounds a bit excessive, but you know. I don't sing to the music very well, do I? Look how laggy that is. Oh hey. It looks like a bus. We've got like one of those ticket machines. There's a lot of overhang there, I've just noticed. That's not ideal. But it's okay. You wouldn't think much of it if you knew that. If you didn't know there was nothing underneath it, you would think that's probably okay. I have an excellent excellent connection with YouTube apparently. Am I going to get rickrolled? That would be funny, wouldn't it? Don't start doing that, please. Thank you. Alright. Okay. Lovely. I'll look at that. So, you've got off, auto 4, what? Oh yeah, I don't know. Auto doesn't work in London Underground Simulator, which I'm a little bit confused about. I've just realised how low poly everything is in that game. Holy crap. I thought my standards were low. That is incredible. I guess it came out like a while ago, so performance was a bit of an issue. But now I don't think performance is nearly as much of an issue. But I'm still trying to be wary of it, because we're still at like, 100,000, faces. Yes, we have off, auto, 4, and something rev. I think the one between 4 and reverse is or forward and reverse would probably just be neutral, so it's probably just like something random that resembles the word neutral. I like doing these renders, they make everything look nice. Nice and shiny. Squeaky clean. In case you're wondering, the picture you just showed me, it was this here. Also the video I was watching, was gob. Yeah, it's going to be something. Whether it says neutral or not, we won't know. But anyway, once this render's done, because I want you guys to be able to see what it's like when it's rendered, but I'm sure you'll see it at some point anyway. I really like the curvature on these buttons. You see how it's like faked it? There isn't actually curvature on the button, but because of the smooth shading, it's made it look curved. Oh, I love that. It's so well done. I just want to find the guy who made Blender and shake his hand. Well, I know who founded it, so I guess, but obviously I couldn't shake his hand. See, this sort of metal looks a bit fake, so I guess I need to turn the roughness down a little bit, because that's what's causing it to look sort of, well, rough. This is not reflecting a lot, so I'll change that at some point. But it doesn't matter, because again, in the Unreal Engine, it doesn't care, because it doesn't import the materials or the textures, which means I have to do them all again. Not do them all again, but import them all again. That black is super matte black. It absorbs all the light to the point that there's not even a shine off it. So you can tell I've rushed the materials. I like that. Look at that white line. Yeah, reflections, boys. Looking good. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the stream. And I don't know when I'll be doing another one. Probably Monday, actually. I might take a day off tomorrow. Because it takes a lot out of you doing this same repetitive stuff. It's not exactly the most exciting thing of all time. Once it gets into the engine, it'll be so good, hopefully. Well, if it works, I'm assuming that if it goes to plan. You may never hear from me again if it doesn't go to plan, so I'm sure it will. It should be alright. But I won't stream it when I go to exploit, because as I said previously, I want to be super careful that I don't mess anything up, because it's like a very, very dodgy process. To be honest, I think it makes more sense that this doesn't line up, because it isn't part of this, and I want it to be clear that that's not part of it. So, and I do think this looks a bit barren without those little metal things, so I'll definitely look into adding that next time. I do like the stream. Also, the rendered graphics look awesome. I know, right? I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. Thank you. This here sort of looks out of place. Again, this does look a little bit too perfect, doesn't it? I will admit, it looks a little bit too perfect. By the way, if Toasty was doing this, this would take like a third of the time to do, because he's got two GPUs, so it would be much better. But currently we're at 3 gigabytes of memory. I often do this. Like, I'll just sit here and look at it as it renders. Sometimes I'll go away, but I often like to look at it as it renders. Because even though it looks really barren, it still is quite nice to watch. And I'm not promising that in the Unreal Engine the textures are going to look so much better, but they'll get better as I develop it more, so... When I first put it in the engine, it'll probably look fairly basic. Oh, I've got 6 likes! 6 actual human beings have clicked the like button on this really dull stream. My goodness, you are crazy people. But I really do appreciate it. But you're still crazy. Not denying that. Everybody takes their likes away. No! Dislike the video. Like right now, when you know how I usually have the image up when I'm modeling it? Right now I have this massive graph. Just have this massive graph, just like, it means nothing to me, but it's still strange. I don't know why, that is a new feature of the of YouTube, but it's just, they show you graphs, like, yeah, here's a graph. You don't need to know what it means, but it's nice. Oh, it's just concurrent viewers, so I guess that's just viewers over time? Yeah, that makes sense. So, fair enough. Oh, we can see the reverser coming in, boys. That looks weird. Why does it look weird? Somebody help me. It sort of looks slanted. It's not slanted, is it? Slanted. Is it slanted? I hope it's not slanted. That looks slanted. Let's count the pixels, right, so how many to the right is it going? So what? I understand that this sort of thing slants here massively. Oh my god, I got 7 likes, somebody just added it, how dare you, you're too kind. But yeah, I think that sort of bows out a little bit. I'll check that just before we finish. But I think it's just sort of me imagining it. Is that just me? Somebody tell me I'm not going crazy. That looks like it's bowing. Ever so slightly. It shouldn't, because I'm fairly certain I just extruded it directly downwards. Maybe I didn't. I think I didn't. I extruded it like on the... No, that doesn't make sense. Oh, I don't know. But yeah, that handbrake's looking pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Emergency brake. I keep saying handbrake. 8 likes. What is going on? 9. Oh my god. Stop liking the stream. It's a horrible stream. Deary me. There's a normal map down here, by the way. So, see these little rivets? They actually have bump to them, so that it looks fairly decent. I don't know why this is the one thing I decided to add a texture to, but it is. Well, that was pretty much required, but I don't know why I did it so early on, I mean. Why not, I guess? Why not? And there we go. Almost done. Got a little bit of noise clearing up here. You see the noise changing. Do, do, do. See how it changes over time, that's quite nice. 98% done. We still have 3 people watching this. An image just appeared. This is literally the equivalent of watching paint dry. Basically. Right, let's save that, and I'm going to upload that to the Discord. Perfect, Sonny. Right, looking good. I just want to check this actually. Is it slanted? That is dead straight. Okay, I don't know why I'm thinking it's slanted. If I was like, say... Yeah, that is the straightest it can possibly be, so I'm amazed that that looks slanted in my mind. But anyway, there we go. So, thank you for joining me once again on this treacherous journey of actually getting something actually done. So, there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, well, I was going to say like, but, well, for stars, that's unnecessary because it's too kind, but also because it doesn't deserve it, because this is too boring. It shouldn't be liked. How dare you like it? But anyway, thank you. Right, I'll see you all very soon. Ta-ra for now. Bye-bye.